Tyler, on the other hand, is claiming that he's doing objective news journalism, and this is a random car that was just like randomly standing there. Turns out it was his car. Like, that's ridiculous. You're lying. You're trying to, you're not even covering up that you're lying. You're just openly lying, and it's wild. Oh yeah, Tyler hit Oliveria also is going back with our boy Vince Vintage on Twitter. You know, his Christmas is ruined, it seems, but you know, we'll get started there. Before I give you the Luigi Mangione updates. So he came in and was like, my response to some valid criticism I've received that finally isn't just someone calling me Hitler, which is really funny. I like that he knows that I call him Tyler Vera, and I like that is stuck, okay? Because he is, and I have no issues calling him that because that's his output. Just so everybody understands, that's just his output, okay? The YouTuber Vince Vintage spent the last 4 months going through roughly 2 years worth of my videos and produced a 49-minute video attempting to paint me as an evil supervillain. I think he didn't go hard enough, for the record. I think Vince Vintage did a very normal, I already blasted off chatter. Here you go. By the way, let the people know that I'm live and alive. But I think Vince Vintage in his video, which we covered on the broadcast, I watched it when it first came out. I think he did a pretty decent job with his coverage. And I think it was fair. And I don't even think that he attacked Tyler on the virtues of being even though there is obviously plenty of evidence to suggest that he might be. But he simply left that up to the viewer, right? Like, and I think that's a solid way to cover this, because otherwise people immediately go, "Oh, you're biased. You're biased. You're biased. You're a libtard. You're biased." Like, he took a more neutral tone and was like, "Look, I'm not gonna call him a racist. I'm just gonna show you some facts about what I've seen that has rubbed me the wrong way. You know, why'd you have to cook my boss Tadic like this?" Oh, dude, this goes so hard. I have his finals mouse, by the way. I don't know if I have this one specifically, but I have one of his finals mouses that he sent me, and it's fire. It's so sick. I said, "Did you even watch Dune Lamau?" He knew his fans wouldn't admit to the racism, so it was pointless. Brilliant on Vince's part. Yeah. So anyway, Vince, I think, did a pretty solid job of just like tackling the subject matter by looking at some of the things that Tyler Oliveira does that rub everyone the wrong way. Even if you are maybe you're a racist, but you want to have objective racism. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of tackling an issue like this from the angle of this guy's just lying. Why is it good to cover it like that? Because even racists will look at that and go, well, I don't want to be misguided. Even a racist person that watches the Tyler Oliveira video is like, well, I don't want to leave this video thinking certain things are not true. I want to make sure that my racism is 100% unfiltered and truthful. Anyway, for instance, a news clip from West Oakland, Pittsburgh made it in our video about Oakland, a New York City headline about a shooting in its final cut on a video about New Orleans, and a news clip of a troubled teen in Miami that made it into a video about Memphis. To whoever this may surprise, I have a small team that helps me edit these videos. He's just a small content creator with like 7 gorillion views, by the way. You know? He's just a small guy. He's just a little guy. You don't understand. I have an editor dedicated to placing B-roll on top of our videos to add visual aid to show examples of various things we discuss in the videos. The problem is I met him at one of the rallies that I was at, a Klan rally, which is why him and I aligned on our politics pretty aggressively. And that's the reason why anytime I talk about how black people are inherently violent, anytime I cover stories about how black people are inherently violent, lo and behold, he just finds black people being violent, but from a different place. Okay, my bad. Anyway, I like that he just turned around and was like, it's my editor's fault, not me. While it's not difficult at all to find a shot carjacking, shooting, or robbery in Memphis, for example, Vince points out a few examples of just outright incorrect B-roll placements that don't match the city in question. A handful of inaccurate B-roll shots don't invalidate any of the conversations we have, the statistics we show, or the point of a given video, but it is 100% on us that these made it to the finished product. Ultimately, everything we do is under microscopic examination, and we will most likely make mistakes like this in the future. We will be more vigilant to do our best to avoid them. He's like, I'm going to get so much better at doing racial agitprop. Trust. This is all a work in progress, and we will continue to learn from our mistakes. Thank you for all those who offer constructive feedback, and we will do our best to meet your expectations. I appreciate all of your support. He responded, Vince responded with, are you also going to blame your editors for why you baited someone with a PS5 to break into your car? And then he turned around and I think to that said, this is like blaming a rape victim for what they were wearing, which is really interesting because I think most people in Tyler Oliveira's audience would blame a rape victim for what they're wearing. And that's what's really interesting about this process. He said, this is the equivalent of blaming a woman for getting raped after she wore a dress that was too short outside. You imply criminals just can't help themselves as to break into the car the moment they see someone else's property. The entire point of the car bait was to see if someone would break in. This isn't some secret. I don't even understand your point contention here. Also, it's a TV in the car, not a PS5. So what's really interesting about this is like back in the day when Joey Salads did this, you know, mega car in the hood gone wrong. Like when he set up these quote unquote pranks, he even considered them to be pranks, right? Like he did them under the guise of pranks, not objective news journalism. And Tyler, on the other hand, is claiming that he's doing objective news journalism, and this is a random car that was just like randomly standing there. Turns out it was his car. Like that's ridiculous. You're lying. You're trying to. You're not even covering up that you're lying. You're just openly fucking lying, and it's wild. But yeah, to which Vince responded with, hey, while I've got you here, why don't you answer these questions too? Why did you hide the fact that you shopped at a KKK memorabilia store that sells N-word repellent and passed it off as an antique store? Why did you hide the fact that you gave the most racist man in America a welcome gift you bought from the KKK memorabilia store that said N-word repellent? Why did you fabricate the story of Jamaica bank truck robbery? Why did you fabricate the story of a Christian seafood restaurant selling sex for $15 and being a brothel? Why did you pretend to be an asylum seeker to get processed by Border Patrol? Why did you pretend to be alone in the fear of your life in Jamaica? But in reality, his tour guide was right next to him. Your tour guide was right next to him. Okay, this is grammatically a little bit wonky, but why did you hide the fact that the 9/11 truther expert you brought on believed that Israel blew up the World Trade Center? Why did you hide the fact that you brought on known fraudster Darren Stalkup as your Oakland homeless expert? Little Bear, thank you for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. So I think, critical support, or not even critical, full support to Vince here on his endeavor. But why does Tyler follow us on? Because me and Boy were some of the early accounts that actually recognized that he was doing Mr. Beastified, unlimited right-wing agitative propaganda, and we had an issue with that. We took issue with that, and that was very frustrating. And I think he did not know how to react to that, and he just started saying all of these woke libtards are angry at me because I do real journalism and they don't. You know, cool stuff